Spill reporting guidelines. There are guidelines at Northern Timber Management that we need to follow when it comes to accidental spills. Aside from internal reporting, we need to report certain spills to the government. The following chart shows the guidelines that we need to follow. Remember, you need to report every spill that occurs, regardless of size, to your supervisor. Response to accidental spills over 25 liters. Introduction. Although we have limited amounts of potentially harmful release sources on our work sites, the potential to release potentially harmful product to the environment does exist. Consequently, an action plan such as this is required to address that potential. The following procedure clarifies the quick and efficient response to accidental spills over 25 liters on land and in water to minimize potential impact to the environment. Procedure. Identify the product and secure the worksite. Notify fellow workers, terminate operations, and extinguish all potential ignition sources. Obtain suitable PPE where required. A large drum spill kits contain goggles and gloves. Reference SDS if necessary. Terminate, control, contain product flow. If possible, terminate the release. Correct upset tank, close valves, or consider securing valves and lids and tip a tank over on its side in case of a puncture, etc. If unable to stop the flow, control or direct the flow with hand tools or machinery to an isolated area. For example, a low spot that can be burned. Note, if you do not have the equipment or training to action this or any spill, call for assistance. Clean up the spill. Obtain the necessary equipment for further containment and cleanup. For smaller spills, 25 to 200 liters, absorbents and hand tools can be used to contain and soak up the spilled product. The contaminated soil can be placed in a barrel drum and stored until a final disposal site is confirmed. For larger spills, 200 plus liters, refer to containment and cleanup systems contained within the emergency response plan. Consider use of heavy equipment to construct berms, ditch, and culvert blocks. Note, if in doubt at any time, call for additional assistance and direction. Respond to and report product in a water body. Deploy spill response kit as per emergency plan to contain fluid and contact the site supervisor immediately. Request specialized equipment and personnel if necessary. Once reported, the supervisor may be required to call for further resources. Consider final disposal methods for contaminated soils and cleanup materials. In consultation with Alberta Environment, contaminated soils and cleanup materials may be disposed of in a licensed facility. Any disposal method must be fully documented. Note, any spill of any product on land or any amount in a water body is immediately reportable to the company's supervisor. If the amount of product spilled exceeds levels identified in the spill reporting guideline table, then the supervisor is immediately responsible to report the incident to Alberta Environment. Response to spills of used crankcase oil. Introduction. The purpose of this procedure is to clarify the quick and efficient response to accidental spills of used crankcase oil on land and in water to minimize the potential impact to the environment. Employees must recognize that used oil is a hazardous waste and does present a unique problem due to contaminants that may be present in the liquid. Procedure. Identify the product and secure the worksite. Safety of yourself and fellow workers is always a first priority. Where necessary, notify affected workers, consider terminating operations, and extinguish all potential ignition sources. Terminate, control, contain the product flow. Although large amounts of this product are not expected to be found or stored in the field, any release must be efficiently contained. An isolated area and/or secondary containment must be used. Note, if you do not have the training necessary to action this or any spill, call for assistance. The company has spill response equipment on site to deal with a spill emergency. Clean up spill. Obtain the necessary equipment for further containment and cleanup. For smaller spills, less than 25 liters, absorbents and hand tools can be used to contain and soak up the spilled oil. The contaminated soil and absorbents can be placed in a barrel and stored until a final disposal site is confirmed. For larger spills, you will be required to remove and haul to an approved landfill site. You may need to utilize heavy equipment to construct berms, etc. Respond and report product in a water body. Use spill kit as per plan to contain fluid and contact the supervisor immediately. Request specialized equipment and personnel if necessary. Once reported to the supervisor, he may have to contact outside resources. Store contaminated soil and cleanup materials as per requirements. Any disposal method must be fully documented. Note: a spill of this product is reportable to Alberta Environment if it enters a water body or if it has an adverse effect on the environment.